You are alive today by sheer cosmic luck. 300 million years ago, the true masters of this planet were the things of your darkest nightmares. Imagine a dragonfly, something we'd catch with one hand today, except it's the size of an apex predator, a golden eagle. Imagine scorpions reaching 3 feet in length, and millipedes stretching nearly 9 feet long, towering over a pro basketball player. This isn't a Hollywood monster flick. This was the raw, terrifying reality of Earth's Carboniferous period. If you traveled back 4.6 billion years, you wouldn't find a single era more chaotic, more experimental, or more deranged than this one. Back then, the atmosphere was intoxicated. Oxygen levels were off the charts, pushing 35%. Today, we're struggling with 21. That extra 14% wasn't just air. It was a biological cheat code for every creeping thing on the planet. You see, insects don't breathe like us. They don't have lungs. They rely on a network of microscopic tubes on their skin to pull oxygen directly into their cells. In our world, this system has a physical limit. The bigger the bug, the harder it is for air to reach its core. But in the Carboniferous, the air was a concentrated fuel. Insects didn't just grow, they bloated. They expanded. They evolved into titans, each generation more monstrous than the last. If you stepped out of a time machine then, the first thing you'd see in the sky is Meganeura. But don't let the name fool you. This wasn't some delicate garden fairy. We're talking about a 30-inch wingspan. Imagine a German shepherd with wings, patrolling the canopy. And it wasn't just big, it was lethal. A modern dragonfly has a kill rate of 95%. The most efficient predator in the animal kingdom. Meganeura was that same perfect killer, but scaled up to an impossible degree. Its eyes were composed of 30,000 individual lenses, a 360-degree, all-encompassing radar. To Meganeura, you aren't a person. You're a thermal signature, a moving mass of tender, high-protein tissue. While our modern fighter jets struggle with high-G maneuvers, this creature perfected them 300 million years ago, hovering, flying backward, or changing direction instantly at full sprint. Its mandibles snapped shut 10 times faster than you can blink, crushing skulls like hydraulic shears. In that sky there were no birds, no pterodactyls. There was only the swarm, a living, breathing aerial nightmare that blotted out the sun. Now, you might think you'd be safe if you stayed low, stayed quiet. You'd be dead wrong. The forest floor was a different kind of hell. Crawling through the undergrowth was a creature the size of a train car, Arthropleura. For 100 years, science told us this was the most savage land dweller in history. A massive, armored centipede that could rise up to look a human in the eye and crush them like a python. But here's where the story takes a turn. In 2024, everything we thought we knew was dismantled. Scientists finally unearthed a complete fossilized head, and the revelation was anticlimactic. This 9-foot-long behemoth, with dozens of rippling legs and terrifying armor plating, was a vegetarian. That's right, it wasn't a centipede, it was the world's largest millipede. It spent its days wandering the swamps, munching on decaying leaves and rotting fruit. It was effectively the dairy cow of the Carboniferous. We spent a century fearing a monster that just wanted to eat salad. But let's be honest, if a 9-foot-long bug crawled into your tent at night, even if it just wanted to share your snacks, you'd still die of a heart attack on the spot. But don't let your guard down, because where the giants were peaceful, the mid-sized shadows were not. Deep in the brush lurked Pulmonoscorpius, the lung scorpion. It was 2.5 feet of pure aggression, about the size of a full-grown terrier, but instead of fur, it had a chitinous exoskeleton and a stinger the size of your thumb. A modern scorpion's sting might ruin your week. The venom payload from this thing? It would stop a human heart in seconds. And deeper still, in the lightless caves, spiders twice the size of Goliath bird-eaters wove webs that could hold more than just flies. For our ancestors, the tiny rodent-like creatures known as synapsids, these 50 million years were the ultimate gauntlet. It was a literal dark age. They couldn't come out during the day because Meganeura was patrolling. They couldn't hide in the grass because they'd step on a scorpion's tail. Their only strategy was survival by invisibility. Hiding in the mud, shivering in tree hollows, watching as these armored titans ruled the world with absolute authority. So why do we rule the world now? Why aren't we still hiding from the swarm? Because the Earth shut down the server. The glory of the Carboniferous was built on a fragile foundation of extreme oxygen and endless rain. Around 300 million years ago, the climate collapsed. The Carboniferous rainforest collapse fractured the world. Oxygen levels plummeted. For the giants, this was the end. Their massive bodies, once their greatest strength, became their tomb. They didn't die in battle. They suffocated. They couldn't move, couldn't fly, couldn't breathe. It was a silent, global execution. The survivors were forced to shrink or vanish. Dragonflies became the size of a finger. Millipedes retreated under rocks. And in the vacuum of their downfall, our ancestors rose. They became the dinosaurs, the mammals, and eventually, us. But the story isn't over. We sit here today, feeling like the masters of the Earth. We dig up the corpses of those carboniferous forests, we call it coal, and we burn it. We are releasing 300 million years of trapped carbon back into our sky, reshaping the very atmosphere that once created monsters. We don't know what comes next. It might not be the return of the giant bugs, but it will be a world we aren't prepared for. Every species that ever stood at the top thought they were the final chapter. You're watching this on a device powered by 300 million year old energy. You think you're the audience, but in the grand design of this planet, you're just the next variable.